America's Cultural Revolution. Welcome to the Denice Show. So, everything that has to do with freedom of speech is now off limits unless you're a radical leftist, right? You're not supposed to say anything. You're not supposed to be engaged in debate. The left doesn't want to hear any debate about anything that has to do with defunding the police departments of America. I'm talking specifically about some tweets that have come out over the last several days by people on the left, whether they're Democrats or anarchists. I heard somebody on Fox News say the other day, well, Democrats aren't calling for defunding of police departments across America. Sure they are. I've got 3 examples to give you right now that demonstrate that people that are Democrats, registered Democrats that are representing large constituencies in the halls of Congress are doing just that, calling for the defunding of police departments. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez says, if you're an elected official, I'm asking you to ask yourself, what are you willing to sacrifice to make sure that the police departments are defunded? Radical left. Democrat. Radical left. We've got to start getting our heads around this. Rashida Tlaib, Muslim Arab. You say, why do you say that? That's racist. There's nothing racist about it. I'm going to be making a point about what the Assembly of Muslim Jurists of America have told Muslims in America, particularly those that are in positions of power. So I said that to get to a point in terms of how they've been instructed based on the Assembly of Muslim Jurists of America's fatwa. But back to Rashida Tlaib. Rashida Tlaib tweeted out back on May 31st that it's really important to fight for true freedom and from oppression, poverty, and all this sickness. So she's living in the United States. I don't know why she doesn't go back and live in Israel or in Judea and Samaria, which is the so-called West Bank by leftists. Why doesn't she go live there with the Palestinian people? But if she wants to fight oppression and tyranny, that's a good place to do it, living under the Palestinian Authority that recruits and pays for terrorists to kill innocent civilians. What an idea, Rashida Tlaib. But Congresswoman Tlaib is telling all of us in America that we're living under oppression and tyranny and poverty, and that this has led to so much death and pain. And so she says, we have to defund police. She has hashtag defund police movement should not be brushed aside. Another leftist radical Democrat, Ellen Omar, says, the Minneapolis Police Department has proven themselves beyond reform. It's time to disband them and reimagine public safety in Minneapolis, Minnesota. So, and we have people like Keith Ellison, who's now an attorney general in Minnesota. We have Andre Carson. We have people that have been now advised by the Assembly of Muslim Jurists of America. In fact, Philip Haney, my dear Philip Haney, on one of the shows, which I'm going to give you a link to, even before we started dating, we did numerous shows together. And in his book, one of the shows that we talked about, the Assembly of Muslim Jurists of America, Philip gave testimony before Congress in February of 2013. He talked about the Assembly of Muslim Jurists in America. Back in 2011, he was talking about it. Talked about it again in 2013. Again, this was testimony that Philip Haney, former Department of Homeland Security intelligence official, gave before Congress on what groups like the Muslim Jurists of America were doing. So one of the things they did after 9/11 was issue a fatwa. What is a fatwa? A fatwa is an Islamic ruling. It's authoritative, and it's based on an Islamic law, and a particular point within Islamic law, which is, in the Quran. So the Assembly of Muslim Jurists of America has told Muslims in this country that while Muslims have to govern under infidel legal systems, they are urged to hate America's legal system. And it says here that Muslims should view the American and other non-Muslim legal systems as infidel systems, and that they should only participate in them in specific circumstances in order to benefit Islam and Muslims generally. They're specifically instructed to feel hatred in their hearts toward each infidel legal system. So, Philip knew the details about this. He talked about it. So I wanted you to go back and listen to this broadcast that Philip and I did in July of, I believe it was July 29th of last year. And Philip spoke about what we see happening today, today's cultural revolution in America, how leftists have been drawn into the Islamist belief that the American legal system, and it starts with undermining law and order. If we don't have police departments in the United States of America, in every city and community in the United States of America, there'll be a breakdown of what? Law and order. Think about it. If there's a breakdown of law and order, how's that going to impact your life? And does it lead to the ruinization of America? It certainly does. If there's no law and order, there's no peace in our street. And if there's no peace in the streets of America, the legal system breaks down, because the rule of law no longer means anything to anyone because there's nobody left to enforce it. The executive branch of government, the President of the United States, is the chief executive. A little bit of a political science lesson. Used to teach political science classes at colleges and universities. Political science, executive branch. The President is the chief of the executive branch of government. And under his authority is organizations like the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the FBI, the Central Intelligence Agency, the CIA, the military, all of these organizations, the police departments across America, the sheriff's departments across America, the National Guard, all of this falls not under the authority of Congress, not under the authority of the Supreme Court or the judicial branch of government, but the executive branch of government. The chief executive is responsible for enforcing the laws of America. And this president is the only man we've got right now that's running for the presidency that actually would enforce and believes in enforcing the rule of law, because without it, leftists and Islamists, groups like the Assembly of Muslim Jurists of America, it's also known as the American Assembly of Muslim Jurists. I've seen it both ways. Anyway, this particular group is continuing to authorize people in America that embrace Islamism or Islamic law and telling them to join with leftists. Indeed, it was a fatwa. So they're charged with that responsibility, and they're part of this revolution on the streets to undermine the rule of law. And again, this is what Philip Haney was investigating, along with other groups and individuals that had ties to Islamic terrorists and groups across the United States and in the Middle East. And he talked about it on this program, and I'd like you to hear it. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'll stop talking now. There's going to be a link in the talking points, and I hope that you'll listen to this very important interview with Philip back in July of 2019, really talking about what we see on the streets of America today. Thank you for listening. And by the way, please support the Denise Gary Show sponsors. I want to thank Ralph Frugoletti of Frugatti's Restaurant for continuing to be a sponsor of the Denise Gary Show. They've got the best Italian food in all of Kern County, and so give them a call. They're located in Bakersfield, the city of Bakersfield, which is in the county of Kern. 661 area code 836-2000, 661-836-2000, right there on Coffee Road between Stockdale Highway and Truxton Avenue. So go there, tell them, wow, I heard your commercial on the Denise Gary Show and I wanted to support you. Thank you for supporting the Denise Gary Show. I also want to call your attention to Anatase Products. They're a forward-leaning manufacturer located in the hub of the aerospace industry here in California, in the eastern area of Kern County, there in the mountains of Tehachapi. And Anatase Products, of course, sells and distributes hardware to major defense and aerospace companies across the United States, as well as to our allies, such as Israel and European countries. You want to call the president of Anatase Products, Scott Baker, former Marine Corps officer, 661-822-6873, 661-822-6873. Be sure and tell Scott you appreciate him being a sponsor of the Denise Gary Show and supporting this broadcast. We need our sponsors, and we need more sponsors. We need to hear from you. If you'd like to make a tax-deductible contribution to this show, please do so. If you'd like to be a regular sponsor on a monthly basis, that would be so also very helpful and beneficial to the broadcast. You can send your tax-deductible contribution to the Denise Gary Show, or you can send it to the Middle East Initiative. The Middle East Initiative is my 501c3 educational foundation. So you can send it to the Denise Gary Show or the Middle East Initiative, Post Office Box 82162, Bakersfield, California 93380. And thank you so much for listening. Share the show out with everybody you know. Let's get everybody up to speed on what's going on across the United States. Thank you. This is Denise signing off.